recounted to you in the office of that regarding the complaints of CA. They're against. If your intentions are not to appear in court, I need to hear from you.
This is taking me feeling when the distance to the door is excessive. And my father calls concern just to leave a message. Mirrors taken down and placed against the further wall, as though seeing reflected selves could hurt us all. When the fingers like pins dig into self, and white smocks visit just to speak a new health. In some ways discarded and in others never known, but my failing mind still recalls kissing collarbones. We fell in love with cities that would stab us in the back, but our track marks would convince us all to go slack. I'm too scared to get older, man, I'm looking sickly. Time doesn't pass, but it sneaks and leaves quickly. And it leaves 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 and it's gone 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 and it's gone. Actually conducting a survey, so you can just listen along and fill out the attached form, and we'll just collect that afterwards. Do you often feel that you weren't meant to exist, or you're less akin to man but more so to the mist? Do you fear that death is always right around the bend, or that things will unravel quicker than hands could mend? Is your mind's voice soft, thinking they could hear this? Shy in your own head, or maybe because your fear is the joke is ongoing and you haven't been let in on the punchline yet. But things are so pretty in your little regret machine that you say it's okay to let people mess with me. Do you feel you deserved all the desperation, all the heartache and rain and all the medication? Do you fear a pale oblivion is now coming, that you'll be swallowed by fog, or that you're becoming a different body than the one from yesterday? Or is it an abstract weight in all the gray? I used to trace the clavicles with one or two fingers, memorizing shape in a feel, and I would linger, pausing, overstepping a smallest holy moment, greedy clutching blurring love to bring it back to focus. But now a thick fog is advancing from the west, and my brain's all broken, and a pain is in my chest. I fear I'll never know another person's warm skin, as my boxer's shoulders have now grown thin. My swift hands have slowed, and now they crack and they shake. My gloves have fallen off and now they drift in the wake. My wrists unwrapped cannot support this armature. I regret the violence of which I was the harbinger. My ship's taken on water. I see that old Leviathan. High school was drug tests and last minute niacin. I have lived by nothing and surely I will die of it.
If your intentions are not to appear in court, I need to hear from you.
This album was recorded over various periods during or following anxiety attacks that were severe enough to confine me to my room for weeks. Please.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have is nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror.
First month back and I became a comedian. Sifted through the city in time and all the tedium. Laughed at the world and all assorted affliction. Flipped the script to make jokes with tone and diction. Convoluted setups for the verbal acrobatics delivered. Punchlines and laughter was automatic. Rocked the mic and became the champ of the people. Soon I got around to making jokes about the needle. Made jokes about the pills that I would swallow. Soon became the act, no man, just a hollow. I echoed out shadows of my previous mistakes. In return got free drinks and sweaty handshakes. They found common ground and I lost my identity. No more man than a mic holding entity. My name was taken by the content of my speech. No soul, just the cynicism that I would preach.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have is nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror. Nameless terror. Nameless terror. Nameless terror. Nameless.
Been a few months since I gave up the comedy. I tried to keep it going, but I couldn't take the honesty. The crowd reduced me down to a track mark skeleton. Place a spotlight on this old worn specimen. Throwing humor at the wide eyes, justice to the crowd, Damocles in the limelight. You know the man is minuscule, I know it's beautiful that all things are ridiculed. I got this humor in a dark place, laughter on a drunk night to make your heart race. But when the people come to get to know you, they make you a one-sided idea and are unwilling to show you that you don't even register as a human being. I promise that it's hollow, the applause that you're seeing. All beloved figures succumb to iconography. We mourn logos, gods become novelty.
Man, I'm cashing in. I'm done. I got nothing. I got nobody. And I don't want anything. I don't want anybody. And that's the worst part. When the want goes, that's bad. But when you just don't care anymore.
Walk the same dirt trail where my father growed up. Fingers touch the brick wall where the hunters blowed up. The shells still lying on the ground and grass now, where heads get cut, displayed and passed round. Life has no value in what they call the new world, where the next snapping pace will make your head whirl. Saw a journalist head chopped on his doorstep, son beat, bone jutting from flesh like porcelain. Wife dragged by the hair and shot in her abdomen. Vague heads propped up and lawns upon javelins. Novels written to opponents on the wet meat. Letters run on the asphalt for a registry. Seems we've given the writer's chair to the gunman. Open the door with the tension, then they just run in. Social critique and the pen have been disconnected. First it was shocking, now the blood is expected.
The fundamental belief underlying the whole system appears to be that the human body is ugly and that its natural tendency is to debility and disease. Incarcerated in such a body, man's only hope is to avert these characteristics through the use of ritual and ceremony. Every household has one or more shrines devoted to this purpose.
We mistake the world for something uneventful, but we're numb to the world and as such resentful, clawing at the walls in search of frontiers. But despite our hope, we're probably done here. We aspire to glory in tales of all saints, rubbing nails down and scraping at the paint. Dreams of newness and wanderlust lovers, but the bare wood is all that we uncover. How strange that the other side of the coin is murder begetting murder by its own loin. Heads are cracked in silence miles down south, but here we pile pills in the dry mouth. Suffering by a loud threat of death sudden, or a slow hum of demise that we unbutton. Unzip, inspect, toy within, examine, inundated with input which becomes famine.
Sane, insane, it's all a matter of balance. Haven't any of you ever felt that when you were terribly tired or worried sick about something, that keeping your sanity was like walking a tightrope stretched across a great chasm, and that if the slightest thing went wrong, you'd topple off and never stop falling?
I don't really know how to put it, but I'm more often than not plagued by a very paralyzing anxiety and nausea and certain obsessive habits whenever I record. Sorry if I sound strange. Now I recall that death may come quick or as slow as sleep, and I'm similarly sick to those of us holding up our faces upon the lashed up arms. I fell in love with that unknown, so I searched it out, the space between spaces that I've always heard about, like the passing of time. Idly waiting for a bustling line, watching dust gather where I work, the view from my window where I'm greeted by the birds, the light gathering on the carpet in the morning, the quiet peace that comes without boring, the brevity and pain of highway eye contact, the brief sting of hot hands on cold backs, the quivering stomach of a subtle kind confession, and all pristine things that forget to leave impression.
He wanted paper and something to write with, some way to sustain a thought, to place it in the world.
Right, we having a takeaway? Yeah. Positive mental attitude, as I put underneath. You know, I wake up to bed in the morning and I thought I see the sign is on the wall, like.
It starts off, huddled in the passenger seat, a hole newly torn as anode grinding your teeth. It gets in slow, so mixes in the vein. Guess you're feeling up now, probably feeling stained. We've done this before. Been around experience, try to flex the arm, don't let you get delirious. Soon you're foaming at the mouth and crying with pleasure. I'm sure you took a lot, too much by my measure. No way to undo, no magical lever to pull it back out. Now it's forever. Now it's just a blackout, now it's been severed. But that's just whatever. You wake up and soon you stumble out the car. Like, how'd you ever let your habit get this far? How'd you give me the stronghold I now possess? Why'd you let me make your life into such a mess? It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. When I was young, I hooked into the monolith. Simply I would kick facts and they would get up onto it. Press it in the flesh, yeah, you know the shit's preponderant. wondering they be laid out. It's simply sit and ponder at the influence is ominous, it's common sense. I'm the type who might not be the best to get to know, let alone to sign your notes with X's and O's, or placed upon a pedestal to inject some chemicals. Trust me, I will stab it and kick back, relax, and then deposit what you pay for, leaving that I take more. Women who romanticize the monolith by candlelight, I will take my sacrifice and pierce it on the blackest night. Like yes, I am addicted, and maybe it's a business. You're wondering who this is and what could be the sickness, that you would be a witness to how I harm the witness. The clue that I will give is it's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head. It's a fury, a stabbing, a biting, a breath. I'm dying, I'm trying to get out of my head.
As I put underneath, you know, I wake up to bed in the morning and I thought I see the sign that's on the wall, like, so I look around and think, like, PMA, positive mental attitude. So at the end of the day, positive mental attitude, right, what am I going to do today? Straight to chemist, I'll have my methadone. Positive mental attitude is one. Number two, won't score fucking black. Positive mental attitude.
Sorry, I get really bad anxiety when I'm recording. Downside up, back broke to a spine ache, skin cracked, bones hurt, limping on the highway, trying to find a warm hole that I could hide in. Face stone cold, ears looking for silence. If not the flesh, I will partake of lotus. It's not the best, but I'm certain it's the closest. 2 years downtime gone with curriculum. Ships left for palaces, I've done the minimum. Rooted to the flowers which dull the senses. Slept through my youth and forgot the fences. Dishes all stacked in the jingle of keys. A neat place to rest, going weak in the knees. The shake of a hand which reaches for the hinges. The shape of a man who's blurred by the binges. A garden unkempt, glory to a flower. The petals whose kindness will move the hour.
The Lotus Eaters did not plan death for my comrades, but gave them up the lotus to taste. And whosoever when aid of the honey's sweet fruit of the lotus had no longer any wish to bring back word or to return.
Sleep now, watch the screen and its colors. No need for speech and no time for others. Small black rectangular waiters in the palm, flinching of the thumb and the channel like balm. Hear the chattel of actors and the directors. Abstract dreams of Troy and its Hector. Life doesn't taste well, so here's a new method. No more lotus, eyes misdirected. I like to dream that I did something right. Lay before a screen each tired old night. Pattern and routine, it's all familiar. Don't look outside, the world might kill you. I don't like change, so the screen is all good. Might not need it if I do what I should. But that ship sailed, my neurons gone gray. Lotus and pills and film for me today. Pace the same stretch for too many hours. Minutes and days are like drops to the shower. There was a time when the flower didn't hold me. Faced the world straight, but that was the old me. Pace the same stretch for too many hours. Minutes and days are like drops to the shower. There was a time when the flower didn't hold me. Faced the world straight, but that was the old me.
The Lotus Eaters did not plan death for my comrades, but the Lotus Eaters did not plan death for my comrades, but the Lotus Eaters did not plan death for my comrades, but
man, everybody around here loves me so much, man. I'm like universally loved here. Like everybody loves me, and they love me so much that I wrote a song about it. The people adore me with parades and great flowers, praise my name and exalt my great power. They welcome with applause my awaited return. Runners carry flames to let the torch burn. I see a choir of angels sings to me sweetly. The mayor bends down to sweep the street neatly. They sculpt my conquest for a great honor, scream for tales of the roads that I wander. My family's all healthy, dance beside the podium. The large crowd sold out the entire symposium. The thousand eyes eagerly await my first words. I inhale and it gathers all the white birds. My miles-long arms embrace the whole crowd. The angel song and cheering all gets real loud. The people consider me a man of great excellence, and with one finger I rubbed out all pestilence.
Do you often think about how inconsequential you are?
Yes.
Do you believe that God will save you?
No.
Have you ever had sex with a member of your family?
Yes.
Are you lying?
No.
Are you lying?
No.
Are you a liar?
Yes.
What are you running from?
Maybe hurt a man, I think. Maybe he's dead, I don't know.
Where's your mother?
Loading bin.
She's psychotic.
Yeah.
The hometown didn't welcome me in the slightest. They avoid my figure, I'm a rust-born Midas. My mailbox was nothing but dust and cobwebs. They outrun my snow with shine and hot steps. A group of women passed and laughed at my stupidity. No power or respect is within my vicinity. Can't name a person who remembers my name. Seen and walked many roads with nothing more gain. My family's gone crazy, adopted by the dogma, scattered through the state by a junkie-themed drama. There are no people who would gather to listen. If I speak out, it's a solitary mission. On my own, I embrace the vast blue. My car payment is late and my books are past due. In my sleep, I recall the old violence. Having done nothing, my end will be silent.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Tell me why you're not with her if you love her so much.
I told her I'd come back and I never went back, and now I gotta get back to her.
Why don't you go back?
I don't know. I don't know!
What are you running from?
Maybe hurt a man, I think. Maybe he's dead, I don't know.
How did he die?
Drunk.
Do you believe that God will save you?
No.
Spend my life with an abstract terror, a dope for no reason other than error, persevering. Perhaps for no reason, no new age, no gold season. Deflated bears as emptied of stuffing, never once real, moving now into nothing. I don't know who exactly that we became, but Drake could never see that nothing was the same.
How strange it is. We have these deep, terrible, lingering fears about ourselves and the people we love. Yet we walk around, talk to people, eat and drink. We manage to function. The feelings are deep and real. Shouldn't they paralyze us?
is a tendency to draw an unreal distinction between the former three dimensions and the latter, because it happens that our consciousness moves intermittently in one direction along the ladder from the beginning to the end of our lives.
I present to you a new type of contraption, running counter to a forward course of action. Simply a means to further the man from his cradle. Iron works bending light and travel is stable. And yes, I am able to move freely through threads, surpassing the reconstructions that dwell inside our heads. But I digress to take my breath, adjust the pen upon my chest, lazily unveil a machine which is seen as intellect. Do you understand the problems of reminiscing? We rebuild a memory and narrow-nize a distance, sophisticated sketching of a long-forgotten image, a tinkerer making the plans of an old system. But isn't it the love of the past that distorts our viewing? In that sense, we do not revisit but renew it. Well, now it's all relevant. My design is elegant, moving past the sentiment. I introduce an element.
And what would you suggest the cooks and housewives in the world do with all that extra time? And this one, duration as a four-dimensional solid, a theoretical model for time travel.
All these things are possible.
Not in this world.
Still, if I go back, do I want the ones who would love me? Or do I just leave them be and then watch it get ugly? I mean, I really ruin the ones who will fuck me. Do I make them hate me, or do I just let them touch me? Is it even my place to decide what they keep? What mistakes they would make in the ease of their sleep? Intimate whispers in the nape of her neck may have stopped mistakes or further neglect. That is to say, they wouldn't pick a modern again, leaving stains on their hair still auburn again. I am not the villain, but remember to them as one who would cut down their hope in their friends. If given the chance, I might avert the conundrum, cease the violated trust to which they accustomed. No more kissing bruises from an old black truncheon, no more tending to my own self-destruction.
And that means that when you turn it on today and you leave it on, it will only act during the time that you have it on. So if I turn it on today and I leave it on for 100 years, then I can travel from 100 years from now up to today, but I cannot travel before the machine was turned on.
Not in this world. Just do your job, Master.
If I can't move back, then surely I move forward. Outrun the regret and I pierce through the border of temporal limitations on man's technology. The machine to myself so no one will follow me. Live out a life full of all that I regret. Return to the machine, moving back, now I'm set. Though now I have the choice, I am not quite certain that all of my mistakes are truly such a burden. Is it worth crossing into something unknown to set the spine of time straight with caveman stone? All remarkable advances still only tools for the fevered wishes of like-minded fools. Do I hate what I've done enough to change time? If I will push the button, then maybe it's a sign that this option should not be open to me or other lonely widowers who were hoping to be.
Time travelers. You see, there is my problem with the work. We cannot go back, only for...
I'm not actually that confident of a person in real life. I'm actually very soft-spoken, frequently tired. Slate a mic like who would want it tonight? Popping off the cranium and munching on the Valium. Or maybe it's the Valium moving up with the alley-oop. Bad rap scallion, you could say that he's bound to curb stomp kids until their parents come crying. Blaspheme the devils until they done dying. Then spit a verse about they face lying. That's not actually very accurate. I'ma stay home and straight jerk the tube steak. Drink until I'm numb and forget that it's a Tuesday. Curl up in the bathtub and try not to use. Drink more and sit while I watch the news. Try to come to terms with the fact that I'm dying. Well, we all are, but I guess that I'm trying to be okay with leaving and all things continue. So I'll leave pieces of me all up within you.
more songs, so let's do another song. I guess.
The feeling when the distance to the door is excessive and the sheer amount of beer at the party is just impressive. I'm wading through a faded sea of fake familiarity. The wide sweating smiles of college kids that scared me. First day back and me dapping a hand clap to a quick snap. Soon greeted by figures in ball caps. Everyone smells like smoke and body odor. Thoroughly drunk figures laugh while falling over. Pale thin bodies are shooting up in the bathroom. Haven't seen them since the years we all wanna go back to. Live the same few months the past 5 years. I got you wasted youth and pale fog right here. We speak of nothing and fuck for no reason. Same couch, same house, same flesh eating. Somewhere it's 5 on this afternoon Thursday. Why did we decide to just get high for my birthday? Y'all came here to sniff some coke and place your teeth on some girl's throat. Cuts through soul and cuts through flesh. The kids don't stall like all the rest. Y'all came here to sniff some coke and place your teeth on some girl's throat. Cuts through soul and cuts through flesh. What? Stupid head boy, I'm the son of a fucking shepherd. Got 20 rings and a coat is made out of leopard. Almost got caught by your NSA spy box, but I bribed the computers and paid it off with white rock. Ghost ride your whip and then I call it a drone strike. Mom spits the words that'll get your dumb flows right. Then I teach a semester on how you should hold mics. Then make you submit your surrender and bow tight. Still unkillable, battle unwinnable. Will whip a dumb motherfucker with syllables. Still got a heart pumping nothing but Drano. Still got a mouth like Helen's volcano. What you know about the city slicker sound blaster? Highest dark master, the pillhead pastor. Boozer that's blasted, natural disaster. Balaclava bastard, evil broadcaster. What? Hey! What? Huh? What? Not in it for the money, but I'm in it for the love of it. Motherfuckers is rocking for the green and the cover is keeping their hands up for bills, licking and touching it. Fondling A&R and then hoping they could suckle it. Not in it for the fame or similarly status. Don't give a fuck about your whole apparatus, because I know we hold our hands out before being executed as though we could stave off death with our palm.
He believed that he could and would recover the good things, the happy things, the easy tranquil things of life. He had made mistakes, but he could overlook these. He had been a fool, but that could be forgiven. The time wasted must be relinquished. What else could one do about it? Things were too complex, but they might be reduced to simplicity again. Recovery was possible.
I regret my frequent cold-bloodedness. I regret my scars without coverage. I am now ashamed of my boasting. I regret all glory and toasting. I do not feel that it has been worth it. I do not feel that my sins have been purchased by my deeds done in compensation. I regret our confrontation. I have become someone I do not know, but this is not the life I thought that I would claim to. In my sleep I see bloodied fingers knuckle deep in my ribs to purge myself of all these things that no one could love. I am so sorry. You thought I was brave and you saw the needles to which I was slave. I think we're done here.